thanks will ever be due to Allah for all time. We ask Him to bless every one of us. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladhina an'amta alayhim. غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Ameen. Respected brothers and sisters, indeed, I welcome us once again to our Fortnite Halqah, where we discuss intellectual topics and issues that border on our relationships and parenting mostly. Tonight, inshallah, as we have said before now, we are looking at something very important which borders on parenting. Like we said the other time that on our parenting series, we'll be looking at a lot of things, most especially the things that have to do with children. We did mention that children have a lot of problems as they are humans too, ranging from lying as a problem of children, hyperactivity, inferiority complex, and so on and so forth. But for tonight, we are looking at quarrels among children, that is siblings quarrels. So how is it a problem? How does it affect a home? How does it affect a child? Most homes don't know exactly where that this issue is a problem that has a skill on how to manage it. So tonight, inshallah, we are looking at that extensively by way of introduction and objectives. By this very discussion or discourse, we want to prepare our minds or to remind us on how to adopt a preventive measure so that our children, we have less quarrel, because the quarrel is natural, it's common, but we can reduce, we can minimize it. Also, in a case where we have in such a situation, we want to look at how we can use those skills to resolve and solve them. So, because it's even a way to protect our home from injury and even death, because some quarrels at times can lead to that when it becomes unwholesome. So that is that. Because children quarrel can cause unhealthy relationship. You know, a child can lie against the other just to score a point. And when parents don't have the skill of management or understanding these very tactics, they may end up innocently beating, punishing, disciplining another child just because the other one doesn't want to see the face of his colleague. So that is why it's important we understand this very topic known as a quarrel among the siblings. You all know that as human beings, we always want to be with others. We don't want to live in isolation. That's natural about every human being. We don't want to live in isolation. We want to be with your with fellow human beings at work, at school, at madrasa. So it's natural that you don't want to be isolated. That is natural thing. So the same, children to want to be together. So your children have to be together. So when they are together, that togetherness is a common life that can cause friction, misunderstanding, and other things. Because when you are alone, you can't be having misunderstanding with yourself. You can't be having quarrel with yourself. So quarrel will only come when you relate with the other. The other, any situation, people are two. The other person is the other. And that is when it can cause you to have quarrel, misunderstanding, fight, disagreement, discord, I mean, other things. If you are alone, you don't expect yourself to be quarreling with yourself. So that's why in our homes, in our clubs, societies, schools, offices, we have masjid. We have all these quarrels. So we don't have the emotional intelligence. One will not be able to arrest the situation and can go out of hand in some instances. So just for us to know that the natural setting for us is to gather as a human beings. Having said that, we want to know what's the real reason why we have such quarrel or misunderstanding. You realize that our difference in disposition, our wishes, our mentality, the way we think, our orientation, our background, our perspectives about issues. The same thing happens to children. There's a way they think, and that perspective of one child thinking a way may not be the same with the other child, and that can lead to them having quarrels. And if there are no adults or parents on ground to assist them, it can be come on awesome in most instances. So you can imagine a child at times want to use a toy, and there's only one toy or only one game, whatever. So, and both of them want to use it. If there's no social skill to manage it, it can cause quarrel, it can cause a problem. That's one we have to understand, that one of the major reasons why we have children quarrel or sibling quarrel is what? Having different dispositions, different perspectives, and so on and so forth. Now, when you have this situation as in place, you realize that there is no home without its own friction. Some parents don't understand that this quarrel is a natural thing. So they mismanage it. At times, they even cause pain for the child. They end up damaging the child's, learning process, because the quarrel at times is a learning process to manage bigger quarrel outside the home. Not all home quarrels are unhealthy. By the time we will mention the benefits of the quarrels as we proceed. So every home has its own friction, its own quarrel, and its own pattern. With that one said, but when we have such quarrel, it has to be reasonable. When it's reasonable, it's okay. But when it's unusual, it's dangerous. It's now for parents to understand which one is dangerous, which one is unusual, which one is reasonable. We realize that quarrels increases as children grow. So under this, you have to understand that quarrel is much more with the older ones than the younger ones. You have lesser quarrel with children of 3 to 4, 4 to 4 years, 5 to 7 years. So you have more quarrel with children of 8 to 9, 8 to 12, more than those between 3 to 4. 3 to 4, they will participate, they will learn things, they will share things. But when they get to age 8, 9, 10, they will have more verbal quarrel, because each person has attained a level of intellectual reasoning. So they want to just present their points and win the discussion. So when children are lesser in age, the quarrel is milder. When they are above a particular age, it's hotter. That is one. Two is that when children are closer in age, the quarrel is more than when they are there's a distance between the age. For example, you have children, one is 6 years, one is 15 years. It's likely the quarrel will not be more. But when they are just between age 8 and 9, age 9 and 10, you have more quarrel according to researches. The other one is that when you have children of the same sex, maybe they are both girls, the quarrel will be hottest, when they are, the girls, boys, because they have the same environment, the same, context, the same physiological makeup, the same factors. So that will cause them to have more of such a quarrel. Now, why the quarrel? Why do children have quarrels? One is a natural thing that we should not say as abnormal. They're always fighting. They're always this and that. No. The point is, as I've mentioned, if it's reasonable, it has benefits. When it's unusual, then it's dangerous. Now, the first thing is that children will quarrel when they compete over limited resources. When resources, parents don't get them enough materials. Maybe we have 4 children, 5 children, you buy only one toy, you buy only one play object, it's likely you have more quarrel, because one person will have to use it at a time. And the other person may feel that he has more right to it than the other person. So in the course of that, if they're not able to settle, it can lead to quarrel. Excuse me. So that is one area. Then, and that is one, when the resources, the materials they want to use are limited. Number two, clash of desires. For example, they are in the same room. One wants to sleep. One wants to read. The one that wants to sleep will want to switch off the lights. The ones that wants to read want the light to be on. In some other cases, one's friend has come to visit him and they are talking about what bothers them. The other one has other things he wants to do. Such thing can create, can cause quarrel for them, or at times they are following their dad out on a kind of outing, and they want to sit in the front seat, another one at the back seat. That can cause quarrel among children. So parents or your father, they have to look at this area and see how they look into them. Third reason that can cause quarrel is that when a child feels that he is being neglected, that by the family, maybe because it's at times it can be calm, it can be maybe we can be a weakling, so to say, and because of that, they tend to not to look towards its side, and maybe at times it's not good at school. It doesn't win prizes. The other one wins prizes. So when that happens and you're not praising him, you see your younger one, see your this, see your that, that can make him react, because he knows that you are preferring his brother over him. It can provoke problem, and because you only want to seek attention. You are praising the one with prizes, he is neglected. So it can create problem to seek attention. He can just slap his fellow sibling, do something strange to him. And that one, of course, everybody will now turn to the two of them and see what they will do about it. The fourth reason is that if a child has what they call ADHD, a kind of hyperactive, is hyperactive in a way that he has high energy, that he just want to be involved in one thing or the other, want to be carrying this, dropping that, jumping out, grabbing the window, climbing the settee, turning on the TV set. It's not just settled. Another one is this quiet type. So the one that is having high energy, you can become aggressive. That's to tease his fellow sibling and do any other thing. And that, of course, if he is now even bright, is good in school, then he can suffer from a kind of a superiority complex that you want to bully and oppress. Even he can even bully his elderly one, his older one. So that one is an area, one of the causes of children quarrels too. The other one is that when parents feel that when the child feels that his parent prefers his sibling to him, they want to go out, it's always Ibrahim. They want to get something good, whatever, it's Ibrahim. And the parent don't make a mistake of even calling Abraham. So that one is a situation that can cause problem. So parents have to, it may look so little, parents have to be careful of that very aspect too. Then beside that very one again, you realize that the child whose parents will show it to the child that they prefer his brother to him, he will want to revenge that, because he cannot be the parents, he can't do anything to them. So he wants to see, this is my brother, and I will show him. That is the story we have in Surah Yusuf, Quran chapter 12, verse 7 to 9, where Allah says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم لقد كان في يوسف. You have in Yusuf وإخوته and his brothers آيات للسائلين, signs, lessons for those who want to know, who are asking questions. What happened? إذ قالوا لا يوسف وأخوه أحب إلى أبينا. They said Yusuf and his brother Benjamin, who were their half brother, were more beloved to their father minna than us. وَنَحْنُ عُصُبَةٌ إِنَّ أَبَانَا فِي ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ. Whereas we are the same, we're consanguinely related. So why is it that their father prefers him to us? That was their grievance. And the story continues on what they did, to harm their brother. They plan to kill him, to throw him away, to sell him, to do many things, cut to the world. That is, they were able to see that, this our father loves him more than more than others. Even yes, naturally, children have different qualities. You may just naturally love some of them. Maybe some children will just be so they can be so warmly. That is good. They're cheerful, smiling. They can be so concerned that one maybe you are looking so kind of down. Hey, what happens? What's happening? If you see you, the other you're even crying, you will not say sorry. You won't see that you're even crying. You come and ask for his mommy, I want to buy Indomie, I want to buy biscuit. Whereas even the younger one can show concern, either one may not show that very concern. That kind of attitude too, you may want to love the one that shows concern more than the one that does not show concern. So as parents, we just have to manage all the situation so that will not cause problem for the children. That one too is another cause of problem. Another one is that when a child has a low potentials, he himself knows he has a low potentials. Maybe he's not so good in physical thing, doing something physically, maybe to carry things, to do things. He's not so smart as to move, to do some things. He's not so good as to memorize things. He's not so good as to pass well in school. Now, his sibling does this better. Parents now make a mistake of now comparing the two. See your brother, he can carry this thing. See your sibling, he can memorize one page of the Quran. See your sibling, he has copied all his notes. See your this. Yes, he has that weakness. Well, it's not for parents to now start making as a point of comparison. You make your reference to what the area of his weakness, talk to him direct, not by a comparative approach. You don't need to mention his brother or his sibling. By doing so, you are kind of making to have a kind of wound in his mind, and that can make him to hate his fellow brother or sibling, and that hatred or that resentment can start to build up, that he can react, unexpectedly, even when you not be able to realize everyone. That's one to come, and of course for children or sibling quarrel. Another one is that if parents fall apart, we talk more about that later. They go to tensions that children see it clearly. That tension will be extension for the children to have their own quarrels. So when they see that the parents are always shouting on themselves, fighting themselves, abusing themselves, they can cause their children to take that very attitude also. The temperament of children vary. When a child has a high temperament that's about relating with the external world, that temperament in him can cause him to behave in a way that may not be able to manage. Now, those are some of the common causes of children quarrels. Now, we have mentioned that quarrel is common in children. Even adults, we quarrel in a way too, though we have a higher skill, mature skill of handling our own quarrel. So now, when situation is unfair to a child, he will want to assert himself that the way he thinks it, because the children think differently. So he want to assert himself. Now, there's one aspect we have to note, please, which is the environment. Environment can make a children to have that kind of quarrels. So environment can lead to a children quarrel. What do we mean? The ideal is to have what you call modeling positive behavior. Parents, guardians, older ones, teachers, lecturers, or whoever, asatisa, ustaz, whoever is in the environment of children, they need to have that what you call modeling positive behavior, which will naturally teach a child on how to manage problems or quarrels. For example, if you are seeing how elders they have issue, they resolve it. They even when something happen, they say sorry to each other, they settle it. Then the child can learn to walk away. It can learn to stay calm. It can learn to listen to the other person to learn before he talks. But in a case whereby what is different, what is negative behavior. So negative behavior will engender a kind of quarrels. Children can learn from that. For example, if parents always enjoy smacking siblings, any small thing is beating, is this, is slapping, that thing can make children to start even smacking their siblings, smacking their friends. Small thing in the school like this, children, if you watch our children in school who beat fellow children, if you check very well, it has a trace to their houses, to their home. It's very rare when out of every 10 children, if 8 of them parents don't beat at home, they don't allow it at home, a child can't just suddenly be doing it in school. So in a case the parents do it anyhow, haphazardly, the child can, even at times, he can smack even the parents. He can attempt to even beat his own parents as a child. So that one can cause, it's a negative behavior that child can take and can cause problem because he has learned that my dad told you to smack and beat. So you want to equally demonstrate the kind of practice, the kind of practical on his own sibling. Then when they say parents too, who are aggressive on others, even when they are making call, the way they are shouting, you are not stupid, you are this, you are idiot. They shout on phone. That child will pick that behavior too. Whenever he's talking in school, those languages, he will add his own to it. Then you see abusing in class, abusing in school, abusing is whatever, in different ways. That one too, we have to notice that negative environment can cause a very children quarrels too. It's so equally when children see that there are some older siblings who get what they want by force, either by pushing, maybe they want to share things now in some school environment or nursery or primary or whatever. Now, they are sharing things. They don't make them to be organized. Some people who have the big body just push others away to get what they are sharing, and they go away with it. So they will learn, oh, there's a good way to do that. So when they are at home, they can start to, any opportunity has, equally want to use the technique to get what you want by pushing others. And that's when you push a sibling, you want to push back. When you push, some situation at times as children, when they are kind of a kind of fighting strategy, you beat once, you beat once, you beat back. That's the kind of thing children do at times. And before you know, beating before they start quarreling. So that one can be caused by negative environment also. Now, when there's in a school or a home or a madrasa, there's no limits on fighting or aggression. When you just say that people just fight anyhow, maybe in the streets, they see fight, then the children can feel that fighting is like normal. So you can pick up quarrel and fight the brother at all. But most importantly, we have to note our negative environment is when they see a lot of violence on the TV, movies, YouTube's games, video, children can become violent by watching violent movies, which they want to implement or experiment on their sibling. So when the parents are not at home, then you can see them, trying to show that they have power over their younger ones. This is an area we just need to be careful, the kind of environment we expose our children to, inshallah. Now, do you know that there are positive sides of quarrel among children in a home? Yes. It's not all about just everything is negative. It's even necessary they have little quarrels because they are going to a bigger society. They are going to school, they'll meet children from different backgrounds. They are going to madrasa, meet children of different backgrounds. They are going to be in the society, in the public, in the streets. So if a child has not experienced any element of such at home, it's likely that you realize that the child will become so timid and feel oppressed or bullied when he goes out. So there's some positive side to quarrel. One is that it trains them for social skill. Social skill in the sense that when there are those little quarrels at home that is reasonable, don't put it, you put it there. It's one I carry it. It's my own. It's your own. And they're able to just argue for a few minutes and they settle it. It's very good. It's positive because it make the child, that kind of child, as we are seeing him like that, it will make him to discover the ability to beat his opponents in discussions. We won't just give up like that. They want to argue like that. When at times they discuss, they argue things like that. You realize that they will now be able to equally, when they have cause, sure at times you see outside, they just something small thing happens, to start crying. That's so children that they become timid, they become naive. If maybe it is brother or sister at home, they have such situations, he will not just, if one is being oppressed, he will not just keep quiet. So small quarrels at home build them for that social skill to discover the ability that to present their talk, to say, "Are you the one that did it?" Even if his child is so timid and he's not the one that did it, but one is in the scene of the crime. And if somebody's drank water or poured something away or broke something and is found on the scene, and teacher wants to beat him up. "You are the one that did it. You are the one. when he's timid and he does not learn how to defend himself, he will not be able to talk again. And before you know, he will be beaten for what he has not done. That is one side about that very one. Then, when quarrels happen at home, it teaches them spirit of forgiveness. When they argue here and there, they realize that, okay, you are wrong, I'm right. They will find a way of settling it. So that kind of way is learning how to forgive when it's wrong, how to say sorry when it's wrong. Then also, it teaches them to accept victory. Because when they argue here and there, the parents at times will be involved to settle. By that arrangement, they will now learn how to accept victory. You were wrong, you were right. It was one that first got there. You are not the one. You don't have to do that very one. Then both to go their way. And children have that mind. They will settle and move on like that. Then at times, someone will discover through such quarrels at home, they will discover their weaknesses. Some they cry so easily, some shout, some. So the parent will discover those things in them on time at home. When they don't do anything at all, you don't quarrel anything, you'll be able to know where those areas of attention are. And that will make them to now go outside there and they will disgrace the home and you won't like what they do there. That one too, we have to know that quarrels at home had its own positive side. Now, you realize, we all know that our children have to go out to the social home outside the home. And that is, you have to go to school, go to the masjid, travel, this and that. So the home will prepare them to cope with such outside situations. Now, but if quarrels takes on dimensions, it becomes negative. And that's when the parents have to be available and control accordingly. For example, when the following happens is negative and is dangerous, quarrels that turns to hand fights, they start to hit themselves. That kind of situation is harmful beating. They can be arguing, they can shout, they can do this and that. So if it's not that they are not hitting themselves, it's healthy. They will settle, they will, I don't know how to do this. It's when I put it. That day you put it, the other time you do it too. Last time, you know what played yesterday too. As when I watched it on Monday, I watched it on Wednesday, I watched it on Friday. Well, were you not sleeping that very time? So when you are sleeping, so you are going to watch today. Good. It's healthy. But in the case they argue like that, before you know, one just slap the other person, then that one is unhealthy quarrel. Also, in a case whereby they use obscene language, you are mad, you're a fool, you're stupid, a bastard fool. That's one parent have to come in and let them know that there's a boundary to how they can utter. They should not utter such foul languages. So use of obscene languages and things like that is not acceptable. Or when the quarrel becomes routine, every hour, every second, every day, every moment, when they just want to eat, there must be one quarrel. Bring the water, you can't do water, they will stand up on themselves. It's not healthy. You have to look at that and settle that very one too. When quarrel causes unacceptable disturbance at home, that the house, everywhere is scattered, they are making noise, they are shouting, parents cannot even sleep, is unhealthy. You have to come to rescue the situations like that. When one of them feels subjugated, maybe the older one now, the way he handled the younger one, so his subjugation, he feels oppressed and bullied, then that one is unhealthy. Then when one of them you realize that they have quarrels, they argue some things, and he was full full of that, is going to revenge. That's one to know that there's it's going towards a dangerous situation. Now, let's look at some cases and scenarios in quarrels that happen in homes. For example, when they're watching TV situation, you see, we have one plasma TV, whatever. There's one remote, and you have several stations. One loves cartoon, one loves the anime, one loves this, one loves that, one loves American film, Korean film, this program, that program, sports, and the like. So you realize that each person wants to just be on his own lane to watch what he wants. And there's only one TV, there's only one remote. That can cause quarrel. So in that situation, they have to be able, at times they'll be quarrel, they'll fight over it, they can even destroy it. So in that situation, when they destroy it, it's unhealthy. When you're able to argue, you just watch them, okay, let me watch my own for 30 minutes, you watch your own next. That's a settlement that is very good. They show they are developing. So your children at home, they are fighting over remote and they break it, they spoil it. One will go and turn on switch on the television, it will be by manual, one will go and switch it off, one will switch on the line, then and they're unable to resolve it. It's a problem that happens at home for those that use such situation. Another one is that sharing sharing things that when you're at home at times, maybe you sharing disputes, you buy snacks, and of course, one is bigger than the other, or they are sharing meat when they are eating, if they are to eat together. So when they eat differently, the conflict is less. When they eat together, it's a better situation to let them learn social skills. When they eat alone, you can't learn something about your children. When they eat together, you learn something about your children, which is positive. So in the case you buy things, snacks are bigger, one is bigger than the other, then you see that one want to take the bigger one. One want to reject, everyone to reject the smaller one. So that can cause quarrel. And if they're able to resolve, okay, let's share it equal. If one is bigger, one is smaller, and they have to share equally, there's a way they can go about it. Okay, let's do this way. Me, I'll take it today, you take it tomorrow. If one buys another one tomorrow, you take the bigger one. Some will agree like that. Deal. One say, okay, now let's share equal. The bigger one, you share equal, smaller one share equal. That's the process of they are learning the skill of settling their problem. And that could be that blame on what somebody has done something. They blame, for example, they break the lover, they break the glass, they destroy something. And the culprits now lie against the innocent. You can imagine that situation. It happens in homes. One who commits the offense will can even be the one crying. That the one who was innocent will even be helpless. He will not cry, some will say his face will look so blunt that this one must have, if some parent will make the mistake, must have been the cause of this problem. That one, parents have to be very patient. Not all the time a child cries that is a victim. The cry can be a protection, a kind of a decoy, a disguise to protect himself from being punished for what he has done. So when things happen, and even the Sharia of Islam, Prophet says that idrahul hududa bishubuhat. When situation happens and you try to ask, who did this thing? And nobody own up, and you have no camera to tell you the truth, then you can't punish anybody for that. Or you can just put some sanctions and things like that. So that one too, we have to be watch out for that in a case whereby the one wants to lie against the other. Then room space argument. When they are in the same room and maybe they have to sleep on the same mattress, the same mat, the first to get there, things like that. I'll sit towards the wall, I'll sit by the where there's fan, many things happen like that. So in that one situation too, if they are not able to resolve, you see them pushing themselves away, pushing them on the floor, they even drawing the cover clothes or pulling the mattress away. That one too is it happen at home. You watch your children, how do they handle it? So if they handle it very well, they settle it, it's fine. You don't have to bother yourself about that. Because not every details of quarrel, you have to be involve yourself. When you involve yourself in any quarrel, it's not healthy for the children. You have to let them settle themselves at times. Then collective punishment can cause serious quarrel at home. Because when somebody has not done something, they say all of them will not eat. They will not take break for money or whatever. The one who does it does not lose anything. The one who has not done it, of course, is a loser. And that can, if he even knows that his sibling is one that did it, it can proliferate him and it can cause them to fight or do other things. That situation at home, there must be a way by parents wade in and solve the problem. Then parents buying items of different colors, for example. Now you buy some sweets and or whatever of different biscuits of different speech types, and then all of them now prefer cracker than coaster. So then you have to, and you buy only one cracker, and others are coasters. So everybody wants to go for the coaster, for the cracker rather. So that situation now, there should be a way they will handle it. Okay, I will take this one for this time, or so and so, and they will resolve it on their own way. Then another thing is that when they don't get equal opportunity, everything you want to do is always Ibrahim every time, and that can lead to them having quarrels, and that one will not be able to handle. I would say that, my dear listeners, children quarrel is real, is natural. It's not every time they quarrel, you must just want to be part of them. You have to turn deaf ears, as if you don't hear what was happening. Though you were there, but you are not there. so that you won't just be every details of their quarrel. You want to be there. You won't allow them to develop and solve their own problems. Because there are times you'll not be at home. If every time you're at home, small thing they do want to. So you let them build their strategy, their technique of resolving their problem. That is very, very important. Then there are instances you have to penalize. When you see one is correlates to unwholesome situation or that is not very okay, then parents, there's one thing we do. When you give authority to the older sibling and you don't supervise, the older sibling will now assume a surrogate father or mother, part of surrogacy, such that he will at times be wicked on the younger one, that you will even at times be aware and you not do anything about it. That you have done can cause problem. That little child, the oppressed one, can overreact. He can stab his fellow. He knows he cannot beat his older one. He can look for opportune time to deal with him. He can pour hot water on him. He can stab him because he will damp the consequence. So that you have to be careful. It's even wrong to. You must be just partial assignment to train them, and you have to monitor it, set the limit, set the boundary, not just an endless because you are doing some other things. You have to be careful about that it can cause a lot of there was a case happened sometimes back in the state that they were just calling over food and the likes, and the other one stabbed his brother. I think till date I can't remember again. Just issue of eating. He now stabbed his brother. At times, someone will pour the hot soup on him. Someone will pour pepper on his face, hot water on the brother or the sister. So these are quarrels at home that you have to study the children. Children growing and rearing is not easy at all. It involves a lot of concern and being there to monitor what they are doing. Especially if you give authority to the elder one, and the person in question is his half brother or half sister, and is having authority that you give to him, and now mistreat or mishandle or overbeat that one, it can cause family crisis because the mom of the half brother or sister, it will be an issue that of concern between her, that child, the small mother, and even the husband situation at times. Besides that, again, children have skill in organizing their play. The children, if they are playing, they are having a game, you realize that they have a way of organizing themselves. When you want to play ball or match, they will, okay, first set, second set, you have won. Or they are playing some games with sand or things like that. They have a way of arranging themselves. But some will violate. When they violate, they will resolve it. They have a way they will resolve a violation. But at home, it's not like that at home. It's more difficult at home to resolve because it's closer and is within the home that there are many things in contest that all of them are fighting for. So the parents need to teach them how to take turn when they are doing anything. Okay, it's your turn today, it's your turn tomorrow. It's the kind of training you have to give your children. Then you have to teach them tolerance. That, okay, this one happens today, okay, it has happened, learn to forgive this one I said today. Not that you feel favor one over the other, but the teaching should be there, how they can tolerate each other. That one too is another area we have to teach our children. As parents too, you have to make clear rules and schedules. You have to wash plate, who washes plate. They can do it themselves. You approve it, they go on. So you have to ensure it's when that is in place, it reduces quarrels. Who is to wash plate is known. We used to do this. Like the man has about 8 girls, and the issue of washing plate becomes an issue. The father came in, they saw that they don't wash the plate, he washed it himself. And since that very day, they knew what it means. Though children of today may not be able to do that. You wash it for them, they will thank you that thank God. You wash next time for them again. But that's those children who were trained already, they understood, and next time they organize themselves, they're washing those things themselves. So you have to make clear rules, and the father, the head of the home, must announce that whoever breaks the rules, whoever beats, whoever does this, there's a consequence, there's a this and that one will be in place, that you'll be afraid to break the rule because they don't want to be punished or suffer anything. So treatment for children quarrel at home, how do you go about it? Number one, when there's a quarrel in home and it's frequent or becomes a routine, it questions it's a symptom that probably the family caring is faulty or weak or absent, that one should be the first signal that my children are always quarreling, they're always fighting, they're always abusing themselves, they're always causing problem and this and that. If after they fight from inside the bedroom to the sitting room to outside the house to the corridor to the compound, it's a symptom that something has happened to the family training. That is one. Then parents should be less strict, to tell relationship that you have between among the children. They should develop a technique of relating among themselves. Not everything you have to just hand over to them. That is an area we have to note as parents. 3 is that you have to avoid excessive intervention. So far is healthy, it's reasonable quarrel. Look away, be enjoying yourself. You can't kill yourself. It's when it becomes dangerous that you have to intervene. Then you have to bring children up in the best standards such that they will know because when you put in the right standard, that's a price for hard work. You see the result. But when you just you're laissez-faire, you're like a desicle, then it will make them drift away from the right cause. And you especially when you have a broken home, the father goes this way, mother goes that way. She doesn't have a window to look through, and that can cause and destroy the children. Then parents have to be sensitive to injustice, because when you are unjust, it could be a serious issue. There's one hadith from Nu'man bin Bashir that his father took him to the prophet. Because the father of Nu'man, it was a companion. His father loved him. He now took him to the prophet. He now said that, "Oh, you prophet, be my witness that I am granting this my son a slave." You want to give the son a slave. The prophet now asked him, "Is he the only child you have?" He said, "No." "Have you given others?" He said, "No." Then he said, "Have you granted the same to all your children?" The man said, "No." The prophet now said, "Fear Allah and be fair in giving the same to all your children." So fairness goes a long way to kind of not allow quarrels in a home. So we have to be careful of that when we are in our various houses. Now, when you have, for example, now you should hold no child as a model for another. We should avoid, see how is doing a comparative things. Always avoid it in the home, because it can cause a lot of havoc and danger in the home. So we may not see everything, but it can happen later. Because a child, like a case of a child who was nice, the parents, because was doing well in academic and things like that was not doing well in academic, he tend to neglect that very one until the police came to the house and said that the child has committed a particular crime. So every child has its own good points, in good areas. No child wants to just be dull or lazy or not to do things. It's a matter of the background and the training you give to the child. Another thing is that do not give any child privilege over the other. For example, now you give a pet name, give opportunities, you come and watch this thing, you cannot watch it, you go away. You not pass your exam, no. There's a difference if you have made rules and the rules are clear. If you do this, this is a consequence. It's a different thing. If you have not made the rules, it's your child. When you commit an offense, you treat the offense, you punish, discipline accordingly. That one is very, very important. Then share the time equally. For the siblings, it's very, very important. You want to go for a visit, you want to go for shopping, and so on and so forth. Then if you are not just about that, it can call a reprisal effect. Then don't express low estimation for a child. You become a judge, you become a lawyer, you become the way you are going, you can't go more than just become a guru seller of, no, that one, you have damaged the child, and the child can revenge. It can even become demotivated, and you won't like what it can do in the near future. That's we have to be careful about that very one too. Besides that, again, is that you must teach them etiquettes of private zone. Every child must have a private zone at a level. Your little child, teach them that they must respect the elderly ones. They should have, don't look at them when they are dressing, this and that. Don't just bump into their rooms. All those things you have to teach the children. Then you need to create a merriment amusement situation, because if it's just everything just dull, it's likely that they want to discharge and do something, because it's so dull. That dullness can cause them to think the other way. Then lastly, the one I will mention is that you have to define and rotate duties. You have to define what each person should do, and not just one person every time, doing the laundry or doing the washing the toilet or doing the other. So you have to rotate those duties, because if you don't rotate the duties, one is always just to clean the table in the parlor, one does every time washing the toilet, it can cause quarrel. So you need to rotate. For this week, you are doing this, you are doing that. With this one, I think we can go a long way to manage our children frictions or conflicts or quarrels or problems at home. I pray that Allah will grant us obedient children who will not cause us pain in both worlds. Jazakumullah khairan for your attention. Now, probably if you have comments or questions, we can take it now, inshallah, before we round off. Jazakumullah khair. You can signify if you have questions to ask, or send to the chat box. Send to the chat box, or you ask your question. Okay, Osho Adeniyi Hakim, you can ask your question, please. Go on, Osho. Hello?
Good evening, Ustaz.
Okay. Good evening, welcome.
For the lecture. I'm so grateful I'm part of this lecture tonight. My question is this. My children, they usually, or most times, prefer outsiders to themselves. And I've been trying to correct that for a long time. It has not worked for me. So I don't know if there is a particular thing I can do to correct that I've not done.
You said they prefer outsider to you?
To themselves.
I don't get the question well.
My children.
Okay.
Among themselves, when they have something, maybe the elder one has something, and the younger one wants the elder one to give it to him. If you see outsider that is asking for that same thing, you prefer to give it to the outsider than giving his younger one. So also this and vice versa.
All right. Thank you, sir. That's sisters. I think it's a matter of orientation. What is doing giving an outsider is not bad, but charity, if it's how we are Muslim, we can teach them that in Islam, the best charity is towards your closer people. So it's a matter of one, we can find out what could have been the cause. Probably as a cause somewhere, maybe the sibling has done similar thing in the past before, that what you call it, they are now revenging and it's now continuous. We don't need to know, ask them, we should not assume there's nothing is happening. You can just find a way at a relaxed mood when they will not suspect to ask what could have been the issue. There's no reason for it. We cannot sit them down, we can have family talks and let them know that you can give the instance in Syria of now, okay, when you are giving charity, you get the word for giving charity. You appreciate what it's doing, is good. You can't condemn it because it's not doing something haram. You can ask, okay, but if you do it towards your brother, you get more reward. And reward is what you're asking for in life. So with that continuous interactions and like that, Allah can guide one for them to come to do it one wants it. Allah. Okay, somebody asked how to handle a hyperactive child. We are here to treat that topic, inshallah. We're going to treat it at ACHG. It's to come another time, inshallah. But for now, when a child is very hyperactive, you have to engage him. You have to engage him meaningfully. I even know that he has that very hyperactive, he has high energy. He must always be engaged beyond ordinary. He has to copy this, he has to write this, he has to write that. Then some instruction how to give at time. So inshallah, coming series, when the time comes, we are going to treat that very one too, inshallah. May Allah assist us and make it easy for us. Inshallah. So my daughter is 4 and so hot-tempered. Okay, it's a matter of we have to look at the environment. Hope he's not watching any violent whatever. If that was not 16, it's a matter of one should the part of dua. One will make dua for her. One will try. No, this is very small, but gradually one can talk to the sense of the child in a way that the child will understand. You can use incentive method. Okay, if you don't get hot temper on this very issue, I'll give you this. The day she does, she's not hot temper, you reward her. So the reward system can work on children a lot. Today, I'm so happy to do it. I know, go take this. I should be so surprised. So get this ice cream and so on and so forth. So with time, she can adjust not to be hot temper. Because when they're hot temper, can just do anything, throw something away, throw it in the wall, pour the water away, the food away. If you pour the food away, it's very simple. So I mean, you have eaten for today. You don't go on, that means not eating again. So it's not one way. We use different approach to handle that situation. Okay. How do we settle? Okay, as one before that. Okay, let me see. Okay. How do we, for someone who has a very high age gap between his siblings and the relationship between these siblings isn't close at all, how can such a person repair that relationship considering the fact that he has left home for a higher institution or job? The moment they have crossed they have entered teenage and they have gone that way, then they are becoming highly intellectual. So one has to approach such by book reading, intensive discussion to let them see reason why something has to be done. So but the best is always to solve such problems when they are before they become big like that. When they are at home, because some parents we are not very observant of some things at times until I become expanded before we realize. So I think book reading that has to do with such thing one wants to establish, one can do that. Some programs they can attend, then dua, then conscious, creating the environment for them to relate. One has to do that one too. Because some will just not like their sibling. You don't just like them for no reason. We have such situation at times like that. But at times one has to dua. It can be a matter of sentiment, temperament, the way they think, like that. So it can make some children to behave like that. Allah. How do you settle quarrel among siblings resulting from giving an elderly one more chores than the younger ones? No. Some chores, if you want to study psychology of children chores or things they have to do, there's age specific chores, age specific duties they have to do. So if the age of a sibling can do that job, one has to do sharing. No, it's a training. So even the elderly one too is a human. Like I can get tired. But you wash plate, what this, and the younger one is not participating. It can make him to become lazy, as if he's sit as normal that elder one will wash everything. So the things that is not of his age, he will not do that. But the one his age can do, he has to be involved gradually to balance the equation because they're all children. So that's because the elder one is always engaged. It can cause quarrel. Then you will not be at home. You want to revenge or do something that it's not your turn today, you do everything today. The guy will not want to do it that you want I used to do it. And when I tell my mom call, before your mommy comes, he will deal with him. So we should try to balance as they are growing up like that. I and my sister were very close growing up. Later, she became tough on me, also begged I should not report. And now I decided to avoid their troubles when she refused to change. Now, very worse, I'm putting her children into the same character. What can one do to solve this? That has called. So, dua, making dua is very important. Continuous talk, one will not stop. Then, watching some videos that can, the character modeling and the consequence of that actions that to analyze to her. Maybe with time, Allah can assist her to see reason in what you are saying. Allah. So I think that's the last chat for now. If there are other, we can look at that, inshallah. So, brother Bamigbade Olamilekan, can I ask a question? Okay, while you're doing that, we have Brother Bamide, are you there? Okay. We have how can one handle very greedy and bad very greedy and what? Welcome.
So my own question is, I'm a classroom teacher, primary school teacher to be precise, and we have issues that our pupils actually bring to us several times. knowing fully well that yes, each of these pupils have different backgrounds and they learn different things. Some of them can be more on the other ones if they want to talk, while the other ones will be silent. How can somebody make judgments in that condition and not actually making a false judgment?
Most problems at times start from home because these children growing. For every stage of a child, there are some things must have known emotionally, language building, physically, and many things like that. So, but most parents tend to neglect that formative stage of children's life. They're the first 2,000 days of a child, the 1-5, something like that. So, when a child has lost some things in that stage, it's difficult to make it up. So, as a teacher, your own role is to be closer to the child when you are closer to him, because at times some problems they're at home, not in the school. Or some attack can be caused by the school too, depending on how they are handled. So that's why one has to be, when you observe that, okay, this is not talking, it's not doing this. When you are closer as a child, as a teacher, you can know, you need to identify what the problem is. After identify the problem, is then you can provide solutions. Some just a matter of related actions. You have to sacrifice at times, buying something, giving some things. When you want to do a chat to yourself to know what is doing, you have to make some level of sacrifice. That's the method in human relations. So you can do that, hoping that with prayers. Because teaching is not easy. You have to pray that Allah should make your children, not just a matter of teaching them to know what you're teaching on the board or whatever. It has to do with influencing and impacting on their life positively and significantly. So I think with prayers and closeness through different approaches, one may be able to the root of the matter, after which one can now know how to handle the situation. Allahu Alam. How can one handle very greedy? I think I answered that very one. A child is greedy and bad. So it's a matter of when it's greedy and bad, then it's about some denials too. Some, what do you call it now? Some things you have to be deny some things to. One has to let him know that it's not good. When I explain to him, guide him that the consequence of being greedy or bad in this world and the world to come, people will not be, they won't want to make a friend with him. They won't like the person. He can miss opportunities. Yes, I get it now. So good. So I'm trying to explain that. So one would not try to just let him know the implication, the bad things of being greedy and bad. So that is one. Then two, that he's going to deny himself a lot of opportunities because you want to get good friends can lead to doing other bad things. So with that very one has to give a close monitoring. Then when he's greedy, which area? So why is he greedy? One can he's greedy. One can make him at times to do compulsory sodako. Or yeah, this thing, that thing, give out what you're having there. So with it's not one day job. One has to like that continuously. One will leave me alone. Allah can assist that it will just change and be better. All right, how can one handle what's that one again? How can one handle the situation which the father is not showing good example for the children? That's a serious problem. Very, very serious problem. You need to let somebody, a counselor, who need to engage the family or the father, because in the case where at times the wife can't talk to him, nobody can talk to him, the counselor, maybe if he is willing, that's one. If he's not willing, that's why at times I want to be very careful of the kind of husband or father one want to give the children. So because it's going to spoil a lot of things, it's going to be a spoiler. So one has to put in dua. Then when one can say come around, one will look at how one can talk to him in a way too. You try to ship in some things. The children, in that case, now one has to find a way of a kind of how to make them understand and not to copy those bad characters in their father. There's a way mother can do it. So they know the father, okay, that is weaknesses, they will not copy him. But it's always difficult when he's not willing to change at all. So with prayers, maybe Allah can assist one to look at that. Allah Alam. Maybe we take like three more last questions because of our time. I have a 3-year-old son who I decided not to speak to over the phone yesterday, who I decided not to speak to phone yesterday because he tore the balcony net with knife. When I called today and was his turn to speak to him, he declined, saying he wouldn't speak to me. We eventually spoke. What should I have reacted and what should I have done better? He has committed the offense already because it takes two to tango. A 3-year-old, just informative stage. He has done anything. He just running, just doing things the way it comes to his mind. That thing he has done, it may be to him, it's an art. It's an art. He's just trying to be creative. as far as concerned. So one has to just let him see this thing is not good, it's not allowed. Then that is a sign that he's likely to want to be destructive. One has to quickly take care of that. Okay, let him know and let him understand the implication why that is not good. Then gradually, one has to just be on the watch out. If he can do that very well, he can do something worse. But by his age, what he has done is like he just being creative, and he feels that maybe he wants to use net for something. It can be anything. One has to just, at time, if one is available there, yeah, listen, go and put it back. You just be there, you can't put it back, but just take care, repair this thing, put it back. You will not be able to do it, but talk to him. Allah. May Allah assist us and guide us, have righteous children, inshallah. So how can one manage a negligent father? I think, like I mentioned earlier too, one has to just find people can talk to him, because he needs to actually do his job. If he's willing to learn to change, somebody can talk to him, then he can adjust. If you're not willing to adjust and you are the wife, then your job, because you are going to become a double-barrel soldier, barrel major, having the job of father and the mother together. So you move on with prayers and assistance, inshallah. So I think here we have to stop for tonight. I want to thank all of us all for coming. I pray Allah will reward us abundantly. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.